Today we're going to do a comparison between Usain Bolt and Tyreek Hill to put an end to the debate of who is faster between the two, and just going off of some of the past either races or some of the things that they've done in terms of their speed. We want to be able to get a better understanding of how good each one is. This is from the USATF. This was last year where Tyreek Hill ended up running 6.70 in the 60. Took him about 31 steps in order to run the 6.70, and he won by so much here. There's obviously we could definitely say that he could run faster, but what he's up against with Usain Bolt, the fastest 60 that Usain Bolt ran was, and this is when he ran the 9.58, was actually a 6.31. And so that's a big amount of difference between the two. I want to say that the people that probably came in second here were probably around 7 seconds, second and third. This was probably around 7 seconds when they finished their race. So that would be 0.3 of a second, right? Where to get down to 6.31, that would actually be all the way down to 0.4 of a second. So what I did here to be able to really solve the debate here between Usain Bolt and Tyreek Hill is to just take a look at what they did within the 40, right? And so what we're going to look at is Usain Bolt. This is when he ran the 9.58. We can see it at the bottom. And when we look at his time, you can see that he ran the 40 in 4.64. But at the very top, we could also see his reaction time, the 0.146. And so obviously when you run the 40, you don't have a reaction time. You just go based off of when you want to go, but you also don't have a block. So I figured that we could take off half of this, right? So instead of 0.146, we'll go 0.07. So we'll just take off 0.07 from this. So 4.64, that would bring him down to a 4.57, right? So 4.57 in 40 meters. I'm going to go and use the speed calculator. So 40 meters, 4.57. What would be the average speed of somebody does that? 1958 would be the average speed. So now we're going to go and calculate the time. So now if we have somebody that runs 4.57, average speed 1958. Now if we took that into yards, right, instead of 40 meters, we'll go down to 40 yards. That's going to be a 4.18 40-yard dash. We look at Tyreek Hill. He ran a 4.29 in the 40. So just to give a bit of a differentiation between the two runners, I mean, we could definitely see, it's hard to be able to see the difference between the two. And obviously with Tyreek Hill running a 6.7, but no one being anywhere close, I mean, I could definitely see him running around a 6.5, okay, in terms of his 60, but still that wouldn't be anywhere even close to running a 6.3. 6.3 is going to be, a potential winner of the entire 60 in the world, right? That'd be one of the fastest 60s in the world. So if we go to 60, if he was to run a 6.5, that would even probably be, let's see what his speed would be, 6.5, that'd be averaging 20.6. So very possible for him. Obviously, you'd have to have a pretty good start in order for that to happen. But yeah, I mean, when you're running 6.3, 6.31, now you're averaging 21.27. So it's a big difference in terms of the speed. Just to give an idea too, when we look at his top speed, let's go like a 10-meter split. So when you look online with Tyreek Hill's top speed, we'll solve for time here. It had him at 23.4, I want to say. Let me see, fastest speed, 23.3. We'll round up 23.4. This was obviously with pads. That's a 0.96 split within the 40. Let's say that because he's has pads on, that he could run another mile an hour faster without pads. That'd be 24.4. That's a 0.92 split. That's very fast. It's very, very respectable. Even getting up into 25, that's really fast. Okay. But when we look to see some of the best sprinters ever, right, these were all world record times. These are all, guys that are running under that time, right? So we could see with, all of them, Ben Johnson, Carl Lewis, Maurice Green, Safa Powell, Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt actually here ran 81, right? So he was able to get into a, way faster. 81, let's go and solve now for speed. 0.81 is 27.6. I mean, I've seen them say that he got up to, about 27.8 would be the speed, which would be, 0.8 flat with the splits. So obviously when it comes to top speed, when it comes to even the start, start, right? With him running a 4.18 in the 40, these are all good reasons to point to the fact that Usain Bolt's faster. Now, obviously, if they ran today, I don't know exactly what Usain Bolt's training regimen as of now. Tyreek Hill is still training to be a professional athlete, playing for the Dolphins. And so he is in probably much better shape. But if Usain Bolt is still training and still doing his thing, I would still say just because of how much more technically sound he is, that he would probably be able to win in a race, just because, again, a 6'7" in the 60, while that is impressive for, a athlete to be able to do, it's not an easy thing to be able to do. When it comes to the world-class athletes, running 6'7" is, not something that would even be in the range of fastest in the, United States, let alone the world. Which would make it so it would be difficult for him to be able to really compete at that, world level, which is where Usain Bolt not only competed, but he dominated for a long period of time. Granted, this was about, getting close to about 20 years ago, but it still is a fact that he was just that much better than everybody for a pretty long period of time. And so when it comes to speed comparison, Tyreek Hill is fast. He's a great football player. I'm a big football fan. I'm a big Tyreek Hill fan. He was on my fantasy team that won the championship. So, no shade against Tyreek Hill here. I'm just looking at the facts, looking at the numbers, and it just doesn't support that Tyreek Hill would be faster. Now, maybe he would have a little bit faster get out in the first 10 yards. I wouldn't be able to really argue that as much. But I don't think it would be a very clear difference based off the fact that, even with him running a 40 meter in 4.64, that means he's very fast. And when we go and even look at Usain Bolt and compare him to, these other world record holders, Maurice Green ran 183 in the first 10 or 186 in 99, where Usain Bolt was at 185, right? So there's not a huge difference. Sulfur powering at 977, 189. So it's not like Usain Bolt is so slow out of his start. He's not like he has a terrible start. He's still good within his start. So it's not going to be something that would just be an easy win for Tyreek Hill to win the first 10 yards. But definitely when he gets to 40 yards, I'm taking Usain Bolt, or anything past that, I'm taking Usain Bolt for sure. But yeah, when it comes to his 40, I would say Usain Bolt is definitely going to be able to beat Tyreek Hill, closer to 4.18 in comparison to the Tyreek Hill ran was 4.29 in his 40-yard dash. So hope you guys like the information. If you did, click that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of great things to help you out as a sprinter. That's really what we do, is look more into your sprinting mechanics, give you a better understanding of what it is that you can improve on within your sprinting, find areas within your start, within your drive phase, within your top end speed that really stands out, that needs to be improved on, things that you need to focus on in order to get faster. And we'll help you with different programs, drills, exercises, things like that. You can check out more stuff on the channel, or at the end of the video, we'll have something pop up that shows more of our playlists and things like that. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. If you like the information, click that thumbs up. Check out more of the things that we have within our channel or within our description for different programs, and we'll talk to you soon.